Let's do this. Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are talking about my daughter's very first birthday party that we hosted 2 weeks ago, and I thought it would be a really nice opportunity to sit down and talk through pretty much all the details from start to finish. We had an incredible time celebrating this special occasion with all of our friends and family, but there are also elements that I wish that I did slightly differently if I had my time again. So today we're going to be talking about the theme, the decorations, the catering, the setup, pretty much everything that was involved. If you haven't already, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. This is my second YouTube video ever. I'm having a really fun time making these long form content pieces, and your support would mean a lot. So without further ado, let's get into this video. To start at the beginning, let's talk about the theme. I had seen the very first birthday party theme pop up all over my TikTok and immediately knew that that's what I wanted. I wanted the whimsical vibes. I wanted the pretty, like, girly details. I wanted it all. The only thing that I was a little bit worried about was the fact that it was the middle of winter. Her birthday's smack bang in the middle of July, and that we could all potentially be freezing our bums off. But we were very lucky with the weather, and we did have heaters and fire pits placed around, so we were prepared. The only other theme that we were sort of considering at one stage was our daughter's 100th birthday party, and the idea was that everyone would dress up really old, and then at least that way we would have been warm. But I think in the grand scheme of things, for her first birthday party, I wanted the girly details, I wanted the whimsical, I wanted the magic. So ultimately, really happy that we ended up going with the fairy theme. Moving on to decorations, we handmade a lot of our decorations because it felt a little bit more sentimental. I felt as though a lot of the store decorations and the online decorations were very generic, and it didn't really fit the same way that we wanted it to. So we ended up making a few decorations, and we also ended up making the cake as well. Now, by no means are we arts and crafts experts, nor are we cake bakers. So it wasn't the most aesthetically pleasing, but it did have a really nice meaning, and it was fun to sort of, as a family, sit down and create all these decorations. The first one that we did were the paper plate flowers. These were really cool from afar. It's also really super simple. So all it is 5 colored paper plates of your choice with a white or yellow, I'd also seen yellow in the middle, but with a white smaller paper plate in the middle, and essentially just hot glue gun all the petals together, and then you stick the white one in the middle, and then you attach that to the wall or the door frame, wherever you wanted to put them. The only thing I will say about this was that it was a little bit harder to stick it from, we had it outside, so it was like on a rendered surface. The sticky tape wasn't really doing a great job. They were falling down towards the end of the birthday party, but they may do. And I think that they looked pretty cool as well. We also made a poster. I was a little bit hesitant because I don't like my handwriting, but at the end of the day, we ended up painting over it anyway, so it really did not matter. Again, by no means are we any artists, but it was kind of cool to sit down and paint and draw together. Definitely some nice memories. We've actually held on to that and have kept that in a little keepsake box, so that's also a nice detail. We also got a poster printed. I got a template off Canva that I had customized with her name and her birthday details and everything, and we went and got that printed off at Officeworks, and we stuck that in an A1 frame, and that was a really nice piece as well to add to the birthday celebrations. We had that just under our balloon garland. We try and avoid including our daughter's face and name and details like that online, so having that right next to the prime photo op probably wasn't our best move, but at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. All of our friends and family really respect her privacy when it comes to our way with social media. So that was really nice. What else did we do? Oh, the cake. The cake, I have a whole series on my TikTok about the cake and making it and decorating it and everything, which surprisingly did very well in terms of numbers. So people obviously like my cake. I just have memories of when I was younger, my mum and dad would always make our cakes, and it was something that now I look back and it's a really nice moment and detail that was included in my birthdays, and I really wanted to include that in my daughter's birthday. So I have taken on the position of cake master for the next however many years. I had got a Shein order as well with just some decorations, some more generic decorations that we used throughout the day. If I'm going to be honest, everything was kind of thrown together very last minute. I had like a rough idea of what I wanted things to look like, but realistically it was all kind of go with the flow. We seem to do better in that state anyways. One thing I will touch on though is because it was the middle of winter, I was worried that we were going to be rained out or it was going to be a horrible day. Again, as I said before, we were very lucky with the weather, but we did have a marquee set up just in case. And we had also got a fire pit and heaters because regardless of if it was a nice day or not, it was going to be freezing. If you are planning a backyard party, these are obviously things to consider. We did look into hiring a room or hiring like a community hall, all of which were very expensive. Places I looked, it was going to be about $400 just for the hall or the room hire. And then on top of that, you're looking at your catering cost, which for us just wasn't feasible. And we have a really nice space here. The only thing I was worried about was the weather. Part of me also enjoyed like having an old-fashioned backyard party. That was like a really nice sort of full circle moment. It also could have gone very wrong. So yeah, that's just something to keep in mind, I guess, if you are planning a outside party or a party during winter. So we've touched on theme, decorations, cake. Let's go to catering. So with the catering, I always intended not to feed everyone. I already had enough on our plate and I didn't really necessarily want my partner to be stuck on the barbecue cooking all day. Like I wanted everyone to be able to enjoy the birthday party and not have to worry about eating. So I strategically placed the birthday party between 2 and 5. That way we'd be waking up from a nap and in theory people would have already eaten lunch and we'll go home to have dinner. At least that was the plan. Obviously we are going to provide food for our guests. That is part of the birthday party planning. But yeah, I didn't want my partner or my parents to be stuck on cooking duties and miss out on the party. So instead, earlier that morning, we went out to Costco and we had picked a range of platters, the pre-made Costco platters. We got some snacks, some drinks, and we walked out with 4 or 5 of the massive Costco pizzas. Like at the very end, the takeaway thing. And this was probably my best decision of the whole party because it meant that the food was already done. Didn't have to worry about it. I think in total we spent about, I'm gonna say $400 on food, which I think looking back, the convenience of the catering, that $400, so worth it. Everything was pre-made. All we had to do was literally open a box, good to go. Fantastic. I would do it again. Incredible. No notes. Super easy, relatively cheap, and you had choice over what to get. They had like a ton of options, but from memory, they had sushi platters, they had like little sliders, they had pasta bakes, they had salads, they had chicken wings, and then on top of the platters, you then get the Costco sized everything. So we had muffins, we had chips, we had like little dessert rolls. There were all these things. We got some fruit platters as well. 10 out of 10 Costco catering, would recommend for pretty much any event. Decorations, catering, theme, blah, blah, blah. That feels... That's like most of it, I think. Okay, I'm reverting back to my notes that I made. For a first birthday party, 1-year-olds are typically transitioning between 2 to 1 naps. So if you are planning a first birthday party well in advance, I would just keep this in mind because typically their nap schedule is going to change and they'll be napping in the middle of the day. So you just want to keep that in mind when sending out invitations and stuff. They might still be on 2 naps, they might just be on 1. All right, yesterday I was rudely interrupted by my daughter when she woke up from a nap. So that concluded yesterday's filming session. It is now the next day and I thought we could pick up where we left off. I believe we were talking about nap schedules and just keeping in mind that this is sort of the age that they transition from 2 naps to 1 nap. Moving on. Wow, the lighting really would just disappear when actually coming back. All right, this will do. My next point would be to have someone on designated photo and video duty. This means that you don't have to worry about capturing all these beautiful and incredible memories and moments with family and friends, and you'll be able to focus more on being present and in the moment, but then you'll also be reassured that you'll have these moments later on to look back at. We actually had a photographer reach out and she came and captured some really beautiful moments from the event. So I knew in the back of my mind that I didn't have to worry about it and I could just fully immerse myself in the event and celebrating with my family and friends. Another point that we really enjoyed from our birthday party was having a designated baby area. We didn't have too many kids for a first birthday party. She was probably one of 3 kids that were actually there, but we had a big picnic blanket laid out with a few toys and books and stuff, and it just kept her busy and entertained whilst everyone else was sort of mingling. So moving on, this next point isn't necessarily for if you are hosting an event, but if you are attending an event and there is a theme in place or there is specific wishes that the hosting family has asked for, please show up and please commit to it like 110%. We are very grateful. We had obviously a fairy party, so everyone dressed up and went above and beyond with their costumes, with their props. It was so nice to see. But on the flip side, if we had set a theme and everyone thought they were too cool to rock up in costume or with wings, it would have completely changed the vibe of the event. Now for my final point. Do not get caught up in the planning and the organizing of this party. This birthday party is to celebrate your 1-year-old, and unfortunately, babies and toddlers simply do not respect the plan. It is all good and well to have things in place, but at the end of the day, you just need to be able to go with the flow. There is no point stressing out and trying to get everything to adhere to a plan when in reality, that'll probably just make things worse. Enjoy the moment, enjoy the people, and enjoy celebrating your baby's first birthday. That is pretty much my experience and all my advice when it comes to hosting a first birthday party. I really hope that it was somewhat helpful for you guys, or potentially you're just interested in the behind the scenes. Let me know if you enjoyed these sit down chit chat videos, and let me know if there's anything in particular that you guys wanting to see next. But as always, thank you so much for hanging around. I really enjoyed my time. If you can, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys all next time.